Welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your hostess this week. It's Abigail. I have once again returned, and Thomas is also here. Say hello, dummy. He's in a mood now. He's in a mood. He was trying to introduce us and he couldn't do it, so I just thought I'd jump in. Are you in a huff? I think someone needs a nap. Does somebody need a warm glass of milk and a nap and a cookie?
Would it not be a glass of warm milk as opposed to a warm glass of milk?
A warm glass of milk. Same thing to me.
Well, one's a warm glass, one's warm milk. One would help, the other one just would hurt your fingers.
I don't know. I don't drink milk. You know I don't.
That's linguistics, that's logic. That's nothing to do with whether or not you actually partake of milk.
I'm also dyslexic and words get mixed up in my head routinely.
And the routine has been maintained.
Exactly.
Hello.
Thank you for finally saying hello.
Hello.
So are we going to talk about what we've been playing this week?
Go ahead.
We have been playing many, well, not many. How many was it? 2 or 3 Halo custom match games?
He's nodding his head.
He is nodding his head indeed. And I was getting a lot better. Was I not? In fact, I almost won at one point. And then I didn't.
Yes, I'm also still nodding my head.
We tried to do a swords match, but we found that it wasn't working properly because how it works is that in Halo, if you got like this, like the energy sword thing, if you aim at somebody, the lock-on can happen when it goes red.
So the reticle, when you aim at someone, the reticle turns red when you're aiming at them, but it goes red when it's supposed to have a lock on.
Yeah. And then that's supposed to be like almost like a guaranteed hit if you get there before the other person.
It's supposed to be a killing hit.
Yeah. And for some reason it wasn't working for either of us. But it was for a little while working to my advantage, and then it didn't, and I got very upset when it started working against me.
Yeah. So you were a few points ahead, but then when it started to work the other way, yeah, I was able to overturn that.
Yeah. So basically, it was like you were aiming at me, but for some reason it would miss me, and then vice versa.
Yeah. Especially if anybody was at any horizontal movement. Sorry, vertical movement.
Yeah.
If there's any vertical movement at all, that somehow would quite often make the person lunging shoot over the top of who they were aiming at.
Yeah, so it got really ridiculous at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Just plain ridiculousness. But I think that I finally sussed why that was, why it may have been glitching like that, is because my Wi-Fi hadn't been working very well for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't even get a game chat going. I couldn't join a party with you.
Yeah.
It was really, really difficult to the point where we were having to use our phones to really communicate with each other.
We're having to talk on speakerphone while playing. It was the only way to get it to work. Which
wasn't the most ideal thing when you've got one headphone off trying to listen to the phone and one headphone on, so you couldn't really hear what was happening in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is probably why it wasn't working very well. We eventually did get it fixed last night. I had to do a hard reset on our broadband router, which seemed to fix it. So touch wood, we are all good to go.
We moved away from using swords to try and counter it.
Yeah, but it still wasn't really working all that well, was it?
No, but it worked okay yesterday after we fixed it. But what we did was we played a few games where I picked weapons that you're not particularly good with. Because what we noticed was that if you were getting anywhere near winning, I just changed the tactics and you couldn't follow it. Because you're good with a sword, you're good with a sniper, you're okay with an assault rifle, or...
Good with a shotgun.
You're good with a shotgun, but anything
else... Getting
else...
better with the grenades.
Yes, you are. But anything else, it's... like. So, for example, if it's a sniper's match... if I'm not doing well with sniping for whatever reason, I just switch to the pistol and close right up, and then you don't win. Whereas you can't. So I've got other tactics I can turn to, whereas you don't, basically. So if I change up the tactics at any point, it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you tried using, you set up one where it was like a sentinel beam
mm-hmm.
and a shotgun, and I think I was 7 hits in, like, you hit, like, to you, before I realized I also had a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. So it was 7-0 until you realised, or something, it was at least 3, possibly more like 5, could have been 7. And then
So I was very upset.
Yeah. So you then you cheated, and you changed to the other loadout that was there, because I can't make only one loadout.
That wasn't cheating.
And you
that
used
wasn't cheating,
the assault rifle and pistol with the gun, with the grenades. But what you then did was you didn't even know you had a pistol at any point. You didn't even check what your other gun was, so you were using the assault rifle from like across the map.
I can't. There's so many. Like, here's the thing. There's so many of those types of guns. I don't know. I forget which one's got like the long range, which one's got the mid range, which one's got the short range.
I think you were confusing it with the battle rifle.
Yeah, for a while they looked the same to me until I like really look at both of them together. And I find it really difficult to try and remember which one's which.
Well, what was this? The last game we played, it was the assault rifle and pistol.
Yeah.
The idea being that you had to use the pistol for medium to long, and then swap to the assault rifle for anything short.
The pistol.
Yeah, but that's why I am picking these weapons, because you hate them, and so all I need to do is start using them, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, but the problem is that you said that the pistol is a long-range weapon, yet because you can't scope...
It's not a long-range weapon. If you have an assault rifle or a shotgun and a pistol, the pistol is your long-range weapon of those.
It's a terrible long-range weapon, though.
Yes, but it is the long-range one. You won't hit me on the other side of the map with a shotgun or assault rifle. You will with the pistol.
I think what I was trying to explain yesterday, it was you made a comment that was you take too long to shoot with a pistol.
Uh-huh.
And I had to explain the fact that for me, it takes me a long time to line up a shot, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, you've either spotted me or you've got a fair few hits in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very frustrating because it takes me sometimes 10 times as long as it does you to actually shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I favor things where I can hide and set up a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't do well.
Yes, but that's exactly why you won't win. Because all I need to do is take my sniper rifle, close in, and bash you in the face.
That there's very few things I can do right, because you're like, well, until you learn to do this, you'll always lose.
And
I always lose.
It's not because
I always lose.
It's not because you're bad at the game. It's because you play it the way that suits you. It's basically,
I'm not adapting to the environment. I'm waiting for the environment to adapt to me.
Yes, but yeah, essentially you're just. It's like if somebody, how should I put it? It's not that you're fighting against children when you could choose to fight against adults and you're not. It's that you're choosing to use the guns you feel comfortable with. And that's because I do well with this, I'll take that and do well with this. And that then dictates what tactics you have available to you in your own mind. So because you don't pick up the pistol, you don't know how to use it, and because you don't know how to use it, you don't know how to defend against it, because you don't know how it works. And those facts combined dictate that you will never use it properly, and you'll never defend against it properly. So you'll do other things.
I also can't move and shoot at the same time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I don't think that is something I can learn to do. Because I'm not somebody that can multitask like that, even in real life. I need to kind of be focused on one thing all the time.
Yeah, I'd completely disagree. Because it's essentially looking and moving at the same time, and you can do that.
I have to stop if I'm taking a drink. Like if I'm walking, I can't drink and walk at the same time. I have to stop.
Yes, but my point is that you're not doing anything as complex as that.
Yeah, but when you're trying to remember what controls do what, it's not like I'm walking in real life. Obviously, I can walk and talk and all this kind of stuff at the same time. I'm talking about using the controller.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly
That's
why
what I
I'm
mean.
telling you it's not that's a behavioural thing. You will adapt to use it more innately.
We
In other
shall
words,
see.
you're when you learn to walk, you have to choose to walk, and then by the time you're in your 30s, by the time you're 3 or 13, you're walking like a normal human being because it becomes innate. When you get up to get a drink or go to the toilet, you don't go left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. You just walk.
Says you.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You will learn that. It takes time, but you learn it. It just takes a lot of time and practice, and I don't think you're playing enough hours in a day to have picked that up yet. Okay, so you played a bit of Halo. It's either GTA or Halo, because you don't have any time to actually play games yourself. You need to actually see when your college is done. You need to actually play games.
I just like playing games with you. I find it more fun. I don't like playing games for myself. I find it boring.
You're in the long line. You're in the wrong line of work, hen.
I get lonely. I get sad. I need entertaining.
Well, you need to play games. They're fun. We should come up with a list of games that you've got to play.
I've got a backlog of games on both my PC and my Xbox I need to play.
Mm-hmm.
I've still not finished. Why did I start playing and I never finished it?
Why is everything in this room creaking? My desk, my chair, everything's creaking. It's very it's like I'm being haunted by
Alice,
myself.
Madness Returns. I've still not finished that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have played the Elder Scrolls thing once.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember any of it.
Yeah, neither can I. I was very tired, I think, when we played that, so I wanted to go to sleep.
We've got different, was it circadian rhythms?
Circadian rhythms, yeah.
Circadian rhythms.
Right, come on.
I'm really tired between like 1 and 3 in the afternoon.
I'm very tired just now. Don't know why.
Right.
I'm feeling weird. Like
I will continue.
No, you won't. You're done.
Yes. You will continue.
Yeah, I will begin. Me and Mindblood have started playing on screen share Assassin's Creed Origins.
Which one's that?
The one after Syndicate.
Which one's that?
Okay, so Origins is set in Egypt, 49 BCE.
Is that the one with like a Roman on the front cover?
No, you're thinking of Odyssey, and that is a Greek.
Oh.
The Origins is the one with the pyramids on the front cover.
There is also Roman on the front.
No. Right. Can you activate screen share, please?
I am screen sharing soon.
Can you see me?
Meow. Yes.
So the ancient Egyptian one, well, not ancient, sorry, but
I thought that was a Roman.
this guy's no. You are thinking, yeah. So this is the one with the Sphinx in it, the temples in it from ancient Egypt, and the
Palace
pyramids.
of Alexandria. I think that's what that is. The Palace. Is that the Palace of Alexandria?
It could be, but it actually looks a lot like other temples as well. So I'm not entirely sure, but it could be. And you're confusing it with Odyssey, which is the Parthenon Greek statue of Zeus,
Yes.
and this guy who is not a Roman, he is Greek.
He is a Greek.
He's a Greek. He's a massive Greek. He was always in school paying attention and stuff. Right, cancel the screen share, please. So you may go about your business. I will kick you.
Thank you. I
So,
was gonna look something up, but I can't remember what it was.
so we started that, and we were going to play the first couple of hours, and then decide if we're going to screen share it or if it's worth playing separately. Because this one he's not actually played before, whereas he had played Syndicate himself before. Basically, it's a completely different system. If I'm basically going to boil it down to just speaking about it for a couple of minutes, it's not in gameplay mechanics and style an Assassin's Creed game.
Why?
Because it doesn't play that way. It's just not the same button combinations, it's not the same type of combat, it's completely different. So they've changed all that. They've changed the way that you seem to level up with just, you get experience points and you level up, but it seems to have no upper limit. So you can get more and more powerful over and over again. The map's enormous. It's lovely to look at, but I think the draw distance is a bit weird, and sometimes the sound sounds a bit funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it is lovely to look at when it's lovely to look at. And the story is, they've only touched on it, giving it little strokes and kisses, but it looks like it could be good. Main character is definitely totally nuts.
Yeah.
It's just about where it goes from here, but when it comes to actual gameplay, I'm really struggling because they've completely changed it, and my brain is constantly saying this is Assassin's Creed, and it's just not. So my brain is struggling to handle the fact that what I'm trying to do doesn't fit into this game anymore, because it's not really an Assassin's Creed game.
Right.
It might change later, but at the minute it's not.
No.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. I've enjoyed it, but there's points when you're in a fight and you're like, I feel so powerless. And when they did that before, it was Unity, and I didn't like it. And I think it just feels that way again. And then it's compounded by the fact that you need to be playing it very, very well to actually win. But if you can't do that, if you're so unused to if it feels wrong in combat because of the buttons and because of the style, because it's not Assassin's Creed, but it is. And I think also the fact was when we were playing it, we decided that I was going to play it through on Nightmare difficulty, which is the hardest. It's easy, medium, hard, and Nightmare, I think it is.
You're a madman.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting it's on the hardest difficulty because I don't think the other Assassin's Creed games have a difficulty setting. So I still forget that. I keep thinking this is just how difficult it's supposed to be. So the difficulty combined with my brain thinking it's a different game is making it very, very difficult.
Yeah, I can get that. I can get why you're so convinced that you're playing another game that it makes it difficult.
That's what I was talking about, the innate response of doing a certain thing. Your brain immediately gives you the response. Like if I'm playing Halo, I know that X is reload.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Gears, I know it's RB. And I know if I'm playing GTA, it's B.
Unless you're like me, who can never remember anything.
Exactly, so you have to think of it actively. I'm able to do it passively, subconsciously, because I'm used to it.
Yes.
You will learn that. Your brain will understand and it will innately respond with what you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally wrong in this. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons because my brain cannot fathom why this is an Assassin's Creed game and nothing is Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So it's causing me existential angst, man.
I got it wrong. It's not the Palace of Alexandria that's in that image. I believe that is the Library of Alexandria.
That's why I didn't know, because I didn't know what the Palace of Alexandria looked like. And I'm pretty certain there is one,
yeah, but it's not that. I think that's the library, the really famous one that got burned down.
Well, did you know that when it got burned down, it was essentially empty?
I thought it was still full of stuff.
It had stuff in it, but it was mostly empty, I think, or it was largely empty before it burned down. It was like the constant. It was full during the height of certain periods of time, but like especially after the Romans and like a little while after the Romans, and it didn't go very well. The library was basically empty when it burned down.
Both sad and comforting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it would have been full because the ancient Egyptians would have had scholars, and then they would have been invaded by the Greeks, and they had scholars. It was when the Romans came in and everything got a bit imperial that things started to slide away.
Yeah.
Because I think they were originally conquered before the empire was set up. It was still the Republic of Rome, not.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, or the Imperial Republic as opposed to an emperor. So
Yeah, because that was really a Caesar that made himself emperor for life, wasn't it?
Yeah, in 44.
I'm literally
BC.
all my historic information is coming from the movie Cleopatra.
Or was it 48? Something like
With
that.
Liz Tyler and is it Andrew Burton? And what's his face from Dr. Dolittle? Rex Harrison.
Okay.
You ever tried to watch that movie? Cleopatra.
No, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's a long movie.
Richard Burton.
Richard Burton, thank you.
He was drunk out of his mind on the set. He was usually drunk on the set. He was out of it completely.
He married Liz Taylor twice, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I think my favourite one with him in it is Where Eagles Dare.
I've not seen that.
It's a war movie with Clint Eastwood. It's really good. It's really good.
I'm not really into war movies.
No, but this isn't like this is like espionage behind enemy lines war movie.
No.
It's good.
I tried to watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. the other day, and I was like,
No. I'm not talking about spy. I'm talking about espionage. Okay, how to put it into context?
Sorry.
The Master Chief.
Yes.
He is a. What type of soldier is he?
He is a. Like I know what he is, but I can't put a word to it. If that makes any sense.
Super soldier.
Yeah, super soldier type of thing.
Genetically adapted, augmented.
Genetically engineered.
No, he's not engineered. He's adapted.
That's very interesting. Now I have suspicions about what the Master Chief is, because I still don't know.
Yeah, you need to read the book. What I'm trying to tell you is he's special forces.
Yes.
So it's sort of like that. That's what this is. That's what that movie is, sorry. It's special forces. It's not... Oh no! I saw Rachel go into that room. She must be the spy. There's bits of that in it. But it's mostly... But it's also got bits in it where it's like, you know, we must sit here and kill these troops as they come past. Pop, 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 pop. Also, I just realised when I went pop, 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 that's part of the theme tune. I made the noise of machine guns in keeping with the theme tune of the movie.
That's funny.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
You were talking about the fact that you weren't entirely happy with Assassin's Creed because you kept thinking it was Odyssey.
No.
You kept thinking it was
Syndicate.
Kept
thinking it was Odyssey. My body keeps reacting as if it's Assassin's Creed. Any of the previous Assassin's Creeds.
Right.
And it's so radically different that my body is like, somebody attacks. Oh, I'll hit B. Oh no, that doesn't do that in this game. X to attack. Oh no, it's not X. That's dodge now. What does A do? Nothing. Oh goodness, it's just not the same style at all. They've completely deviated from what Assassin's Creed was when it was originally developed.
Yeah.
And so it's. Is it possible I'm harder to hear because I'm tipping my head forward to think, and that's why my mic isn't picking me up as well?
Well, yeah, because you're not aiming at the mic.
Right, okay, I'll need to try and remember that. So it's... Yeah, my innate response is, I'm playing Assassin's Creed, but button, 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 button. These aren't the buttons. I might as well really be holding a controller covered in chocolate buttons because it's not doing anything useful, because I'm automatically reacting incorrectly.
Yeah.
You'll find that when you change games, there'll be a
I do
lag
find
time.
that.
There'll be a lag time we need to relearn the buttons, but that decreases as you get more experience with the games and with changing between games and with just playing in general. But it's suddenly, this is I can't remember it being this bad in like a decade. Just me just not knowing what I'm doing and going, oh, what's the button, what's the button, what's the button? Poof. It just doesn't feel innate or logical at all. And it's throwing me, I can't really say much more about the game because that's throwing me off when I'm trying to play it. But I'm going to keep playing it and see what it doth bring to me.
Yes, keep playing it.
So we move on.
We will move on.
Jawohl. Right, a very simple one. Microsoft are slashing their share of game sales on the PC that they sell via Microsoft Shop, and as of the 1st of August.
So does this mean, so I read through it and I just want to double check. This means that the people that make the games get more money.
Yes, so instead of it being 70-30, it's going to be 88-12.
Is this a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It's good.
Is it also good for the consumer, like myself?
Yes.
This is good news.
Yes.
So games will be cheaper?
No.
This is not good news for myself, then.
Yes, it is. More of the money you spend goes to the developer.
But I don't want to spend more money.
No, but it goes to the developer.
I want cheapy games.
And that might make it easier for those people to pay for crunch time.
Right, okay.
It'll make it easier
better.
to hire more people so there's less crunch time. It'll make it easier for them to invest in games. Because if they're making, say, 5 or 6 in a row, as opposed to 3, they can make them maybe a bit slower.
Yeah.
Although you don't want development hell, obviously. It just basically, it gives the developer more financial security and more clout and more options. So it's positive. It brings it in line with Epic Games. Steam still takes 30%, and if the game is extremely profitable, that can go down to 25 or even 20. Steam are still the big one, but it is just for PC. The console is still 30%, which is why console games cost more than PC games.
Yes. I find that really annoying, but I kind of understand why.
Because your console is owned by you, whereas Xbox...
My PC is also owned by me.
What?
My PC is also owned by me.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Your PC is pieces that have been put together and you own that, whereas with Microsoft or PlayStation or Nintendo, whatever, sorry, you own the console, but they've put development time into it.
Okay.
And so consoles are always sold at a loss. So they get the money back by the games, whereas the PC component makers don't make it at a loss. They don't sell computers at a loss. So they don't try to take money back from people buying games. So I mean, it also wouldn't make sense because a lot of computers aren't ever used for that. But it's But that's why.
I need to I actually need to start using my PC for games because I don't think I think the only thing I played was that Witcher board game you bought me for like £1, which was, so I was like, please don't spend a lot of money.
No, there was 4 people who were going to play it. And because I had asked everybody, I thought, right, it's £1, 4p. So I bought the 4 people it.
Which I was very appreciative of.
£4 and 16p.
Because it was fun. I found it a lot of fun.
Well, we will play it at some point.
Good.
Mit mein Bruder.
Will there ever be a day where you just say brother?
Oh, brother.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
mind bother.
No.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That does mean that in August it'll be helping game developers. And I advocate, if you've got a PC, get PC before you get console. Because you can wire up a controller to it, you can connect it to a TV, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. But
I
it's
have got
more
so
powerful.
many. I've got so many free games from Epic Games Store.
Mm-hmm. I've become tempted to get a wireless keyboard and mouse, or if I'm connecting up my controller and then connect the TV to my computer.
You always told me not to get a wireless mouse because there might be lag.
Yeah, but it's because I can't sit at my computer and use the TV, and I've got a rubbish monitor. But I could sit on the other side of the room.
Do you remember when you tried to convince me to get the same monitor as you?
Well, I did that because you asked me if my monitor was good, and I said, yeah, it's good. And it is good, because it's part of the bundle that it came with. But you decided to put a bit more into the monitor and get a specific monitor.
Yeah.
I recommend
I do
this
like it.
as part of a bundle, but you specifically went for a better monitor, and that's fine. I didn't say don't get the one you've got. It's just when you said, what would I do? I'd say, well, I'd just get that bundle.
I recommend it. It's very good. It's an Alienware one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll look into it. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yes, Microsoft.
We were talking about...
That's fine. I say we move on. Sony.
Very well. Sony. What is Sony's story?
There's two here.
What is the Sony story?
There's two here.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Oh, interesting because it's also about online marketplaces. Sony is facing a lawsuit under claims that it's operating an unlawful monopoly.
Yes, because of the games.
So technically the answer to that is yes, but also duh. I don't really know how to respond. Yes, the marketplace is selling games, and essentially what it turns out is that Sony changed their system in 2019, and it stopped European retailers from selling first-party digital game codes. So if you want to buy a digital copy of a game, you have to buy it on the Sony marketplace. So because they control that monopoly, they're able to dictate prices that are higher than they otherwise could be if there was competition involved.
Yeah.
And there are anti-monopoly, pro-competition laws in Europe that don't necessarily allow them to do this. So it may be that Sony get told they can't
Be bad people, not bad people, but they can't be holding this monopoly.
Yes.
I don't think... See, a big part of me wants to say, like, if they're the ones selling it, then they should be allowed to dictate what they sell it for. But at the same time, I understand this whole, you cannot corner the market like that. Or you can't have that monopoly.
Because remember, it's not Sony that are selling it. It's the game developer, technically, that are selling it.
You're going to have to explain that to me,
It's
sorry.
the person who developed the game that's selling it. Sony made the console that plays the game. When you buy a game, you buy it from the game developers. You don't buy it from Sony.
I thought that these were games that Sony were making.
No, these are games to play on the PlayStation, and Sony have decided
So
you
they're
have to buy it
exclusive.
from Sony. No,
So they're like
just any games you play on the PlayStation. So if you want a digital copy of FIFA, you have to buy it on the PlayStation Marketplace.
Okay, but like FIFA, you can play on multiple
Platforms. Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So, but if you specifically want to play a game on a PlayStation, you have to buy it. You have to buy these titles from their store. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
if you want a digital copy. And so what that means
That's not
is
fair.
that they are able to increase the price, and because they're able to increase the price, they get more of their share from it. And it's against competition laws, because essentially what's happening is that it would be like if only one supermarket in Britain sold milk, everybody would have to buy there. If you bought a PlayStation, which is something Sony makes, and you've bought it, that's fine, but you suddenly can't buy your games from other shops. But if you buy a physical copy, you can. So that's a bit
That doesn't make any sense.
unfair on people who are buying digital, that they have to buy from Sony, because they're suddenly paying much more than everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's why it's I don't, I think Nintendo have done something similar, but I don't see it working out too well for them, because they'd have to explain why they're allowing physical ones to be sold in different places, and then if it turns out that they're not, then they have to explain why they're selling a console that can play games, which if you buy physically from anywhere they'll play fine, but if you buy digitally they have to be bought from Sony.
That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we shall.
The second story about PlayStation, now this for me was much better. Well, it's not about PlayStation, it's about Sony. Much more interesting and better is that Sony Interactive Entertainment have apparently filed a patent regarding technology that's believed the company's working on to change open world games. Essentially, it's AI generated internal environments.
Which sounds fascinating.
Mm-hmm. So if you think
It
about
really
a game
does.
with an open world, you sort of play, like GTA, for example, is a good one, like a sandboxy type style. And in GTA, if you run up to a shop, you can see through the window. If it's a shop you can go in, and you can see the women behind the counter, and you can see the clothes, and you can run in and go, "Ooh," right? You're always doing that.
Try on 1,000 outfits.
Exactly. However, if you run up to the window of a shop that you can't go in, it's just the picture of what the inside of a shop looks like.
Yeah, you can't interact with it at all.
Yes. Well, no, my point isn't that you can't interact with it. You can't go inside, but
No, well, that's what I meant.
You can't interact with it as in go inside, but you also don't really see inside either. It's a picture of what the inside could look like. It's not actually the inside.
Mm.
What this software does is it uses AI using previous coding and the instructions that the AI is given, and details of the external what's it called, the exterior data of the building. It artificially generates the internal data, the interior data, sorry.
Yeah, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, so the AI basically generates as many interiors as you need when you need them. So instead of like the two options, which are you just get a picture, or you see an interior that's 4 or 5 and then they're reused over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This would be 1 million interiors if you needed them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because developers aren't having to individually develop each interior. The AI is developing it itself. So it can happen much faster. So it reduces development time while making the world much more realistic.
Yeah.
I reckon the main places you go will still be developed by developers, because there's a certain art style and certain design that they want. But the other interiors in games like that could be artificially generated without too much harm.
Mm. This reminds me of a storyline from an anime I watched once. I'm not going to spoil it because I think you are watching it. Or you were watching it at one point, so I don't want to spoil it, but this just reminds me of something like it from that.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you want me to name the anime?
Okay.
It was Yu-Gi-Oh! I think in one story arc there was something similar to that, but it was a
I
character, but I don't want to.
I think I got up to season 4 or 5 of that, but they
I
took it
can't
off
remember what happened.
Netflix, so they've only got season 1 on it now.
Yeah, I remember when that series was first on, and I watched all the way through it. And I think there was a series that had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think it's something similar because it was all about the
I can't
cards
remember what
then
happened.
generate the creatures, but then it turns out the
No,
cards are whatever.
no. It had something to. It was something
No,
different
but
than
right from
that.
the very beginning, it was like they had those battle things where you put the cards in and it generates a hologram.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you could see how they could then move into what you're talking like in that story arc. They could move in, but
I'm gonna say this right now. Yu-Gi-Oh was better than Pokemon.
okay. Well,
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Shall I tell you why I'm correct? What's more realistic? A little animal and a ball that you have to hunt down and capture, and you have to just assume that it's going to be happy to live in that little plastic ball. And then it like materializes every now and again, and you has to heal within that ball. I think, at least that's what I got from the Pokemon games. Or a world in which people play a card game, and somebody develops a technology to generate holographic images of those cards and have the set of battle sequences that it can do, and works on voice command.
which is derived from a game that they were playing thousands of years ago, in which they summon actual magical demons.
What is more realistic?
Yeah, magic demons from ancient
Yeah.
Egypt.
No, but no, in all honesty, before that came about, before they decided that was actually a thing, the actual concept of playing that card game was fascinating.
Right, just hold on. Like, basically, they're about as realistic as each other because we do have animal fights and we do have card games.
Holographic ones where you can go dark magician attack thing.
What was the lady dark magician called?
The dark magician girl.
I liked the dark magician girl.
I have got the collector's tin of that. With the collector's card. You want to go get it? I'll go show
No,
you.
no.
I'll be back in a minute.
No, don't. No. It's fine. You can do it at a different time. What I'm going to say is, to get back to the story we're talking about, it seems to be the AI software generates the internals of the building during the game development process, as opposed to while you're playing it.
I could have gotten the card thing in the space of that sentence.
Okay. Well, I think we've lost you because you're more interested in card games, which we're talking about video games and you want to talk about card games.
I was talking about holographic things.
Well, I ain't no hologram girl.
Very nice. Well done.
That took me way too long to think of. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Right. I'm done.
Well, thank you all. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed our energetic talk there about Yu-Gi-Oh! And how I really wish it had ended a different way, and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was really okay. Apparently there was many others series that did not center around Yugi, which upset me greatly, and the Pharaoh.
Can we
If you've liked what you heard, what were you going to say?
just move on, please?
If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can always subscribe to the channel. That'd be fantastic. You can hit the like button, hit the share button. You can hit the notifications button for when we upload. You can leave a comment down below. That'd be great. You can ask us a question. What do you think was more realistic, Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes, what do you think was more realistic?
Realistic. What was more realistic, and why was it more realistic? The answer is Yu-Gi-Oh! You can also email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com and find us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was amazing.
Save me from this hell.
We should do a watch. We should watch it together from the start with Pegasus and the island.
Yogi boy.
Yogi boy.
Yogi boy. You do better than me.
He was such a mad character.
Right, you do Pegasus. You do Pegasus.
I can't do it again. Yogi boy. I can't do it again. I'm smiling too much.
Heart of
I
the
honestly
cards.
don't know. Oh my god. Believe in the heart of the cards. Did you watch the series with the green circle?
Yes. I think so, yeah.
That series. Genuinely, I actually felt sick during that episode where the pharaoh basically barters off Yugi's soul. That actually made me feel physically sick watching that for some reason, because I was like, no, he's betrayed them all. He's betrayed the trust of the cards.
I just always found it funny when they said that they believed in their deck.
I find it interesting the fact that at one series they actually named the pharaoh, and then they made the pharaoh's name a massive mystery. I'm like, I'm sure they've already said what his name was.
Yeah, they do that. They do. Have you? I watched some recent Pokemon that they've made, and they've changed all the voice actors, and it's creepy now.
They've changed the animation style as well.
It really creeps me out because it's not the voices that you remember. Do you know what I think it is? I think everybody in Pokemon died except Pikachu, and this is his fever dream because he's the only one with the same voice as before.
I've started watching the remake of Fruits Basket because I watched the first series and then I read through the anime. I watched the first series of the anime and then I read through the manga. They only ever made one series of the original anime, and they changed the end of the story because the manga was still going on while they were making the series. And they only ever made one series of it. Then they went and remade it, so I think this is following the manga a lot more closely. It's been a while since I've read it. But again, I think they've changed a lot of the voices, so it's quite jarring. I might be wrong. It might all be the same voices, and some just irritate me now.
It's like when I first saw a Batman animation and it didn't have Kevin Conroy voicing Batman. I'm like, whoa. What? What's happened? What's going on? This isn't right. That's not Batman.
Not Batman.
That's not Batman.
Batman.
He's not Batman.
Anyway, neither is a Batman. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you guys come back next week. Farewell.
Bye-bye.